Okay. Aries. Gematria reduced number 7. April 19th to May 13th. Gall, Pancreas, Tuesday, Diamond, Ram, Mars, Iron, Carnelian, Emerald. Alright, what we got for Aries? Let's start off with... Oh, and the entire collective for May was pulled 2 Goddess Oracles. You got Communion and you got Fortune. Both are heavy in the red, orange, and yellow, which would be solar plexus, sacral, and root. So if you need to align anything or do some work there, I highly recommend looking into that. Hobby. Leisure activity, avocation, person who has specified in a hobby such as breeding plants or animals or finding something that they can keep busy with. Okay. Highest. Arc and Ultim. Combining form. So maybe you've started something new. You're learning some new hobbies yourself. Maybe you're learning how to read cards or energies or anything like that, or making sense of the new energies around you. Since a lot of things have shifted, you might be more tired than normal, but that's okay. A lot of people are experiencing that. Just make sure you're getting the proper rest, but not over rest, if that makes sense. I'll start off with the Love Oracle cards for Aries. What do we got for Aries? Ooh. Healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addictions. If you've been fighting a lot of the addictions, or you're going through, I would hope that you're not going through a relapse, but if you are, just make sure not to be too hard on yourself. It's not an easy process. Whatever we become codependent on as a form of like a crutch is just to deal with anything that happened previously that we haven't taken a look at. So as you're doing your healing, as you're understanding where things are coming from, what you brought with you into your current state of being, your adulthood, or what sort of things still plague or haunt you, these are all just lessons to learn so that we can resolve it and transmute it into something more positive through understanding. Cassette. I don't know if you're from the era of cassettes, but maybe you want to bust open some of your cassettes and listen to some old music. Outdated thinking also could mean conditioning, replying, or replaying events again and again. So the problem with that is if you're not just looking at it as like a reel, then you're going to be clinging to each of the emotions that you're experiencing as you're replaying the events through your head. And every time you replay the emotions, you're going to have certain chemical releases in the brain, which is going to trigger and send something physically within yourself. And that in itself can become a form of addiction as well, almost like a sucker for punishment, right? So if you're going to be replaying anything over and over in your head, just make sure you're learning what you need to, which would be your part in whatever transpired, not the other person's. That's their responsibility, what they did. You can speak about it if you feel comfortable. You can talk about it like this, and this. These are the facts or what you experienced. But as far as clinging to the emotion of it, like victim mentality, that's not going to help you at all. Okay, so just try your best to learn the lesson that you can from it. And if you're already doing all that, congratulations. It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't seem to understand how much work goes into this, especially shadow work. It's very important, and it's a healthy thing to do. And I'm really happy to see a lot more people are doing that because it's really fucking important. Can we get a past life for Aries? Aries specifically. Ooh, imprisonment or slavery. If you have a long history of either yourself being in trouble with the law, or maybe you've been getting into something and you want to turn the other cheek and go down the other path to see what it has to offer you, by all means do so. I encourage you, especially if you're healing. It's very important. If you have an entire ancestry of people being imprisoned or slavery or anything like that, it's very important that we learn the lessons out of that as well, so it was not in vain. And anything that comes to our 3D now, we're standing in these shoes, we get to make the decisions on what carries forward and what ideals or frame of mind or ways of thinking. You know, if we're constantly thinking negative about these sort of situations and holding on to that energy and not resolving it or learning anything from it, it's just going to keep perpetuating the whole resentment. The idea of resentment, the energy of resentment, it's not going to help nobody. So there's could be a lot of anger built up within your generations, or the people that you come from, or the people that have been here before you. So now it's your turn. You get to decide, do I want to still keep being angry, or do I want to learn and move forward? That's really important. Can we get some clarity on the imprisonment or slavery? 5 of Coins. Being in that state could be a lack mentality. It could be something you were taught. It could be your family's passed down certain things. Could be in the form, if you're married, or what is it, adultery? If you get caught, like a mistress or something like that. Let's see what else you have to offer here. What else? Could be judgment. Worrying so much what other people think is not going to help you either. Never has. I know in my experience it has not. 5 of Coins. Yeah, destitution, loss, failure, error, mistress, or lover. So if you're worried so much about what other people think all the time, to the point where you're failing yourself, you're constantly letting yourself down, you need to stop giving a fuck about what other people think. Know your worth, know your value, and keep putting yourself on the top shelf. Don't worry about other people. If you fail at something, well, that might not be the course or way or direction you're supposed to be headed anyways. Try something else. Okay? You have to be patient. You have to keep that in mind. What else we got here? Ineptitude. Condition or quality of being inept, unfit, and silliness. So if you're worried about people judging you all the time, and instead of standing in your authentic energy, other people may think you're weird or obscure, or maybe what you're doing is stupid according to them, and you know for a fact that that's something you're supposed to be doing, or you know that you're supposed to be headed down a certain way, and you're focusing so much on what they think instead of what you think, that's a problem. That's going to cause a lot of problems in the future as well, because then you're not living your life for yourself, you're living it for other people. And honestly, glare. A bright dazzling light, a fierce piercing look, glared to shine with excessive luster, to look with fierce piercing eyes. So other people could be staring at you in a form of jealousy, or just like haters sort of energy, or you could just be shining your own light so bright that it's pissing off their demons. Whatever decisions they make for themselves is on them. That's not your responsibility, neither to make them happy nor to make decisions for them. So whatever they're doing for themselves, they can worry about that. You can worry about what you're doing for you. Keep shining your brightest light, okay? Don't worry too much about them. Let's see. Violets. Publishers, maybe you want to publish a book. Maybe all the things that stem from the past or your own family history, you want to publish a book. Definitely get into that. I recommend it. Listening to old music may help. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but I pulled 2 cards for the Goddess Oracle. I got Communion and Lakshmi, Fortune. Ishtar and Lakshmi. Very nice cards. They're focused more on the solar plexus and down for chakras. And one thing I didn't notice before, it's almost like a younger version of herself. Okay, at the beginning there, and then like an older version. It's some eyebrows. They almost look similar, like she's aged and she's learned quite a bit. So she's kind of putting it all together. And before she's got a crown and everything, and holding herself, her values, everything close, and then she gets the enlightenment almost. It's really interesting how that works. Very similar. Even the eyes are similar. You got like a amber colored eyes. Not to say that they're the same women, but just the eyes and the eyebrows look very similar. Almost like she's matured. She's grown. She's learned. Paving. Bricks, clinker, paving stone, flagstone. Could be paving the way. You could be your own pioneer. If you're the only one doing it in your bloodline, congratulations. It's not easy to stand alone. I got 3 of clubs. Everything that you've been waiting for could be coming in now, finally. Don't get too overwhelmed. Again, still focus on your healing. There's nothing wrong with that. Take your time. Don't worry about giving too much to other people right now. Even if they try to guilt trip you for that, that's not okay. Nobody should guilt trip you because you're paying attention to yourself. Anyways. Yeah, stabbed in the back. Heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. Anybody that's trying to get all up in your business or find out information, and you notice that every time they're asking you information about yourself just so they can use it against you, please cut them out of your energy, or at least create a distance there and put some boundaries down, or even call them out on it. If somebody's constantly trying to get information out of you just to fuck with your life, those are not the kind of people you want to be around. I don't care if they are your brother, your cousin, your fucking auntie, whoever it is that is so obsessed with spending all their time and energy sabotaging you, really needs to get their own fucking hobby, to be perfectly honest. Negotiate, to treat with another, respecting purchase, a sale, hold, diplomatic intercourse, to conduct communications in general, to procure or bring about by negotiation, to pass into circulation, to bill of exchange. So remember, energetic exchange is a thing as well. If you're dealing with another person, there's a contract or something, you can negotiate. If you're dealing with people from your past or people current and they're constantly stabbing you in the back or sabotaging, not going to help you manifest or bring in the shit that you want. And they may try to get you back on that other path, because some people karmically don't realize they're being used as like a pawn. They're like vessels. So if they're constantly getting all up in your business just so they can steer you back on the path to imprisonment or slavery, let me tell you, they have another thing coming themselves. They're gonna get a swift kick in the arse. What else? One more past life. Let's get more positive vibes here. Some good news for Aries. Anything? Trust and faith. Have a little trust in yourself. If you're religious, have a little faith. Or just have faith in yourself. If you're doing the work to heal, music helping you and stuff, if you're doing the work to move forward, and you want the good stuff to come in, don't worry about anything. Don't let anything distract you. Keep focusing on doing what you're supposed to be doing for you, which is really important. What else we got here? Surface, structure, merely formal or grammatically consistent. Relationships between the words of a sentence as a distinct form, deep structure. So whatever you say is very powerful. If you use mantras, great. If you don't know what those are, look into it. It's things that you say to yourself. It could be a little chant over and over again, positive things preferably. Don't use words for harm. Don't use them against another person. That's going to come back on you. You use words are very powerful. The minute you use them out your vocal cords, you speak those words, is very, very potent and powerful. So use them for good. And the relationships between them, whatever words you're saying, whatever your intention is. Intention is everything. So when you're speaking about something, yourself or another person, your intent. So you could say the words that come out your mouth, but what you actually mean could be something else. And a lot of people do this in our society. It's really annoying. I personally don't like that. It's like beating around the bush. Say what you mean what you say, should be the way that we go. But some people just, they get a little bit fearful of their words and the impact they have because they know how powerful they are. So they're kind of cowardice in what they say they don't actually mean, which is redundant if you ask me. So yeah, choose your words wisely. Put yourself first. Make sure you continue on your healing journey. Don't let anybody get in your way or stop you. And hopefully that